day. So you better understand that these basic things ain't it. And while we up here being divisive over how somebody built or somebody quote a lesson, you better understand that Allah's knowledge unites us. That's the best knowledge. The worst knowledge, that belongs to the devil, and that divides us. The poor knowledge, that's that. We don't even care about that. We keep the best part preserved for ourselves. That's the biggest proof of you're the original man. If you're the original man, you ain't sweating the bullshit because you kept the best part preserved for yourself. Because those that ain't miss that meaning, including the Caucasian white. He wasn't there. He was placed somewhere. And a lot of y'all is just like that. You weren't there, you missed the meeting, and now you're somewhere and you're struggling to get out. And the only way to do that, like the God said, take everything from knowledge to born, and then step beyond that so that that knowledge can add a cipher. And then that knowledge can pierce the cipher and bring knowledge, which is word is bond. And that's how what? You learn to activate what he's speaking about, the knowledge before the wisdom. You got to understand that the wisdom came from 1 and 1. Then you can see 1 and 2. It's simple mathematics. It's so much more than, like I said, I came up here to build about, but my brother so eloquently stated it. Then I'm going to say peace. And if I remember by next month, I get invited to the Son of Man, or I'll come up here and drop it again. But I really want us to understand the reality of what is. We are at a point where people want to come up here and ask for a vote. People want to come up here and go back and forth. And it shows such disunity because you guys didn't have a meeting before this. This is for you to come and present the idea. This is not for you to come and discuss the idea. And if two people that see each other, like my brother Virtuous, who gave me knowledge himself, spent, I don't know how many months ago at a parliament. If I see you once a month, how you my brother? This is for the universe, a universal parliament. I see my brother in my house. He called a check on me every day. My brother's the one that when he can't reach me, he knows who I talk to every day. He's like, wait up. Hey, yo, what's up? I ain't talked to him. I've been 3 days and he didn't answer his phone. Oh, wait up. He was with Avon yesterday. Call Avon. Yo, Avon. Oh, yeah, he's with his earth. Hey, his earth. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Or call his son. But that's going to be the idea because once you won, the network is dead. Ain't no division. But we up here discussing ideas and not trusting the best knower. Because there's people that come up here and show and prove they're the best knower just by what they say. Yeah, we all know mathematics. But there's different levels of mathematics, like God said. Arithmetic, geometry, algebra, what's the other one? Trigonometry, and it goes on. There's too many of our brothers that got caught up with addition. And they forgot about multiplication. But it goes way beyond that. We have whole formulas to be able to build, to construct a pyramid. You know the kind of mathematics our people have? There's people still saying aliens did that. Because they can't fathom common folk understanding that kind of mathematics. But all that high science is based on 1 to 9. That's the reality of it. It's understanding that space that we call nothingness is not empty, but we attribute it to emptiness. But if you have tools that let you see beyond what the naked eye can detect, you will see atoms and protons and neutrons, you see dust particles, you see all kinds of things in this space we call nothing. So that's how knowledge was born of knowledge. Because knowledge came and said, I am. And then the elements of that knowledge that was separated in the atmosphere to find this that you couldn't detect, the knowledge was there, came together and said, I'm here too. And that's how there was two. Knowledge. And then once that knowledge started saying, I'm here too, it became two. It was no longer one because it claimed its own identity. It had its own ideas. You know what I'm saying? There's no difference between the black and the brown. There's no difference between the brown and the yellow. Everybody has to master everything in 6 in their own lives. And the only way to do that is to give yourself time to contemplate. Understand that when we say wisdom is something, that you experience, and that's how you get wise, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not an intelligent person's way of getting wisdom. Right? Because there are things that's life or death, you only get one shot. So if you need to go to that to find out what it's about, then that's on you. But I can learn from others' mistakes. I can contemplate and figure things out without having to go through the fire. And that's where the real understanding is. They say that experience is the best teacher for a reason, because a hard-headed nigga slow fast, for lack of a better word. But in all reality, it's just because they're good seeds and they're bad seeds. The Lord had 2 sons. You know what I'm saying? There's one that listened and one that didn't. He wanted to be tested. And for lack of a better word to me, that's how God made Devil. The one that had to prove the shit. He wasn't just happy with what it is. He had to be himself. And I don't knock that. That's why God and devil work hand in hand. Because in this existence, it's about duality. We learn from the 2 extremes. You don't really know love till you know hate. You don't know cold till you know hot. But I know when it's time for me to get off the platform. I've said what I came to say, and my brother Palmgard said it in a way that I really felt like not even getting up. You know what I'm saying? But reading Medina's anniversary, right? Firstborn in Mecca. Now right? 17. Black Met and ABG. ABG came down to see his main man, dropped it on him, the Mac came down. I was like, oh, you talking about Allah? You talking about Son of Family? And that completed our teachings. You know what I'm saying? They brought us up here, and then, then we had to go. It took years. Brothers, like the brother said, I'm 83, and I'm still learning. And that's what Medina has to learn. Yeah, you learn your lesson, so what? You got work to do. And that's the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So we all here, we all trying to do better by learning better. You know what I'm saying? Using the word try, sometimes it's self-defeating, but if that person don't succeed, try and try again. That's what I can tell you. Consistency is king. And paying attention, and having a partner outside the cycle paying attention as well, will take you a long way. Peace. Hey. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. The Son of Man, I give it out for free. The reason that I'm selective when I give it out is because I create it for the young. When I come in, people start asking me for it. I make 100 or 120 copies. Each issue costs me around $7 to print, depending on how many pictures and the colors and all this stuff. So don't take it personally that I walk around my bag and I may walk by you. If you look older than me, especially if I don't even know you, it's nothing personal, believe me. We have a PDF that you can get easily. I made this for the children because, like the brother Nas Everlasting said, we need to give them something to aspire to. You got to teach them how to find wisdom in this overflood of information that's out there. The knowledge is at their fingertips. Back in the days, brothers were trying, because you heard a brother saying something, and you're like, well, I got to find out about it. Now they didn't say anything, they got to talk to you. They record them on their phone, make a video of you, go up here and Google it. They got this shit called fact checker. And they'll check it. You full of shit now, straight up. But I digress. Peace. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Come on, bring it.
Peace, y'all. Who are we? Supreme Mathematics of Law. Peace to the family. Happy anniversary to Medina. Also, happy anniversary to Mecca, because it wouldn't have been Medina if it wasn't for Mecca, where the knowledge and wisdom of the original man, Almighty God Law, came to Harlem, New York, and brought it to the firstborn, and those firstborns brought it to 14 born, and that became the 23 minds. that gave us what we have is what I have inside of me, which is Supreme Mathematics. A blessed name. I didn't ask for this name. I was blessed with it. And when I came into existence in this knowledge, I was knowledge, wisdom years old. I'm proud of God today. Been through resurrection of my mind, been through everything that God said he didn't do, did it, done it, and come back and tell you how to recover from it. Because one of the things we have to teach the babies is how to recover from what they do when they don't build to be born. It's one thing to sit here and continue to tell us that we're going to save the baby, but what are we saving them with? We send them into the school systems who deprogram them from their parents and then institute seeds in them to teach them that mathematics is about economics, which it is, but it's really about correcting your mindset. Knowledge is a body of accumulated facts. So when you accumulate facts, you create God. Because God is in an energy based on facts. And we found out, and when I found out that black man was God, it did something to me. It took out that misconception that the school system and my parents were teaching me. They weren't bad people. They just was miseducated. They was led in the wrong direction. Taught to eat the wrong kind of what? Foods. And food is not what you put in your mouth. Food is what you're taught to think, to believe. And then you go out into the world and you see everybody celebrating holidays and doing what you see them doing, you conform or you feel different. And when I got knowledge of self from Medina, I felt different. Especially going home telling my family that I was God. That was a no-no. I got kicked out of doors. Beaten, stripped, exiled, and doors slammed on me because I went against the grain. But I had to, because I had to come get my brother. I had to come save my own firstborn to the family. And then being firstborn to the family, I had to come back and get it from the firstborn from both cities. All the cities. So it's a blessing to be born from Medina, because Medina taught me how to be a warrior. Because the people I had to deal with back then were not Bloods and Crips. It was Zulu Nation. Outlaws, tomahawks, Johnny Stompers. So gangs always existed in our world, culture. Because this culture itself is based on crime and destruction. And knowledge of myself freed me from that destruction and set me on a path to education. And that education changed my reality. So no matter what I went through in life, I was always able to rely on this knowledge to save me from it. Because Supreme Mathematics, the first letter in it is S. We say we take everything from knowledge to born. Right there in the word is knowledge to born. And then it takes you up. And it ends in the last two letters, which is me. And nobody can be you but you. And no one should doubt nobody because they don't have what we got. We here to save the world. Mathematics, the word math, M-A-T, is mentioned twice in the word mathematics. Knowledge, knowledge. Master lost truth. I see myself in that truth. And mathematics is life. Life is mathematics. And supreme mathematics is the highest living form of life. And that's how I got to be God. Because I see my highest self, not my lowest self. And I went to a black seed and asked him for knowledge, and he sitting right in the room. My first group, Ashimala. And that's my family tree. That's how I got it through Medina. For the firstborn baby in this nation. And one thing he told me, he said, you're a black seed, you do too much talking. So I had to do a whole lot of listening to get up here and speak. Because what I have to say is not just about me, it's about us. That's the Jesus I was taught. When it was just about us. Allah and just us. Being a reward to each other and checking each other when we was out of order to be on point. to be right and exact. So supreme mathematics is a great thing, but it don't mean anything if we're not going to apply it to nothing. So I'm going to apply it to some today. So some of the things I heard I got to address. A law school in Mecca, they're talking about a canopy or storage house. I'm a real estate investor. And the first real estate I invested in was myself, so I had to get the knowledge. And I asked Simon, firstborn Simon, God, why didn't the Father give us certain things such as the real estate? He said he did. He said, but they were not ready for it. One, they wasn't old enough, and two, if you gave them the money, they were sport to what? Play with it. And we know real estate brings about a lot of crime, because people get money and they lose track of what the Father really was trying to get us prepared for, when we would have to get out of this building and get something we can call our own. And in the process of trying to get your own, you're going to go through struggle because you got so many different minds trying to do so many different things, but the basic, simple reality of real estate starts with education. So let's talk about this education, about this canopy. The God mentioned earlier about zones. He mentioned also about how to deal with people who know how to deal with the design of development. But as a real estate investor, the first thing I want to know is appraisal. How much is it appraised for? And how can I use other people's paper, money, to get that done? Not coming and begging my nation for something, even though we are responsible for it, but how to use the system that's already in place to give it to you. I don't know how much the school prays for, but I know it's in the millions. And I can tell by the developments since I've been walking through the community that the other properties have given it even more value because they developed. So when one develops next door to you, it forces your property to have value, but you have to first go in and realize that value. So how you get to that value? By appraisal. Now we say in our lessons that the earth is approximately covered underwater. Right, that's approximate. But that approximate has value because it has 6 what? Trillion tons, a unit followed by 21 cycles. So when we deal with the weight of what something weighs and how it's categorized, when it's appraised, it's either residential or commercial. That's a commercial property around the corner. But it has a distinctive definition, which is called special purpose. Meaning the deed that runs with that land that the God said and owned by this bank had a special purpose when they bought it. And when they bought it, they are going to transfer that deed ownership based on the value of the appraisal to allow others to come in and build on it. So since we're in the business of knowledge God, we know we have to appraise the planet. So appraisals is done in everything we do. So the first thing we got to do is appraise the value of the land. See what the land is worth. Because the property runs with the land. That's called appurtenance. Appurtenance. Right. That's when the property runs with the land. So as the land value goes up, the property value goes up. And commercial property is weighed differently from residential. So since this particular property that we own has the potential to be a multiple-use commercial property, which is similar to the one next door to it, that's why that appraisal is so important. Because the appraisal got to be compared to a subject property and 3 other different properties versus highest and best use. Low to the highest. That's why we take everything from now to wrong. Now, once we get that appraisal, and we know how much the land and the property is worth, then we can go back to the architects and engineers and designers who work for a living to create the ideal and the vision that the Father seen it being when it was more than just what it was then. But nobody didn't see that picture because they wasn't ready for it. And then when you're dealing with real estate, you got to be ready, willing, and able to get it done. Can't keep talking. Because people want to take it from you because they know the value of it. So once we get the property appraised, Then we can go back to the real estate agents, the brokers, all our investors in here, and go everybody together and sit down and come up with a sound economic plan, because we have an actual document that relates to real estate to build on. Now, as an investor, once I get that real estate appraisal, what I do with that appraisal then is see what's the best and highest use. Me, speaking on a commercial level, that's not the best and highest use, because I'm looking to increase the value. So I need a solid structure. Knowledge is the foundation. So that foundation, whatever that structure sits on, I'm going to compare to how to pay power building. I'm going to compare to the residential building that have multi-purpose use with stores underneath it. And I'm going to look at the survey and say, look, this property best and highest use would be to actually build something on the land, concrete, on something that will give it value equal to other value or in higher value. Because Supreme Mathematics says take it to the highest what? Value. Now we create wealth. We took the poor out the lesson. We also created a legacy of wealth for the babies to inherit that wealth. And that goes for all other schools and every other property that we got situated in any part of this United States and all over the world. That's the name of the game. Now, once we get that appraisal, we have the property structure, the foundation. I say we build something similar to what we already have. And go up as high as you can go. And then have it reappraised from the appraisal that you did already. So there's three forms to appraisal. There's a sales approach, there's a cost approach, and there's an income approach. The sales approach is when you're going to fix the property up off of what we call in our line of business, ARV, after repair value. Then we will be able to sell that property off, as I was speaking to my sister when I came and asked about a 1031 exchange, and take away the tax event that will be incurred, so we can go get something bigger than that, or invest it into other things. Following the 8 points around the flag, you get billed, but when the points are sitting still, not moving, you don't see no circulation, so you have to make the money circulate. Because putting it in the bank is not going to do us no good. We got to reinvest that money. That's the sales approach. The income approach is when the property has a storefront and property on top of it, and that's bringing in rent, revenue. And revenue minus expenses is net operating income. When you have net operating income, revenue, and you can overcome the expenses, now you have cash on cash to build, and you also have equity to build. That's the income approach. Because income is what we all go to work for. Income is why we invest in. Income is why we out here